Shalom. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakakwadash, double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great story. And salutations to all you sincere camp. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due. And without further ado, I'm just going to play the video. And as you can clearly see, the title of the video is "The 400 Years Captivity Have Been Fulfilled."
Brothers and sisters, as I keep saying, as I keep telling you guys, the 400 days of captivity are over, they have been fulfilled. The Most High told Abraham when he made the covenant with him that his descendants shall be taken one day in a country that is not theirs, and they shall be slaves there. And he shall get his children out of that country, and he shall judge that country. And that country was Egypt. Okay, so what does it?
Let me stop it right there. So the first thing I want to say is that the 400-year captivity that the Most High told Abraham of has already been fulfilled, and that was fulfilled in the first Egypt, right? Because he is right about America, Babylon the Great being spiritual Egypt, as the scriptures say. But the first Egypt refers to the first time that our people went into captivity in Egypt for 400 years, and that has already been fulfilled. And this is the confusion that you see with these not the Akitaki plantation Christian, but yeah, these Yah blessed Israelites, where they believe that our captivity has been fulfilled now, so we no longer have to worry about being sent or being put in captivity, because and they are following the prophecy that is in the scriptures. Let's get this preset real quick. Let me bring this out. Let me bring this out. So I won't forget it, right? While it's still fresh in my mind, right? So this is the book of Baruch, and it's funny because let me just see if I can find that. It's still that same book of Baruch. So let's just type it in. Let's see. The captivity. Yeah, this is it right here. So go see the book of Baruch. So this is the book of Baruch 3 verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payment according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our power, right? And we as a people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians are all continuously and still in our captivity. And not only that, okay, part of the captivity of our people at this time around, to show you that is different from the 400-year captivity that we served in the land of Egypt, is to be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth and to serve captivity in the parts of the earth where we have been scattered into, right? Because if you listen to that Jake, you know that this is an African. This is probably not a Jake that's in America, but Babylon the Great, right? So the transatlantic slave trade, right? The being carried with ships into Egypt, that happened only to Jake in the Americas, right? Jake in America, and really, yeah, basically just that Jake are people that are in the Americas right now. So us that are in Africa and so on and so forth, we didn't get put into ships, right? But other curses, right? Other parts of the curses were still basically still affected us. Okay, we are still under the curses, but still basically under our captivity, because we are under the curses, because the captivity is a part of the curses. Now that I've gotten that, let's jump to what next I wanted to bring out, which is going into that preset that I was talking about, right? Where the Most High prophesied to Moses that his servants would serve as slaves in Egypt for 400 years. Let's get that. Here it is. So this is the book of Genesis 15, and I'll start from verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Right, but in the case of this modern day captivity in Egypt, the land belonged to our people, because you had Gad and Reuben, right, the northern kingdom, inhabiting that land for hundreds of years, right? And Esau, Edom came in and put our people in captivity in their own lands. So that's how we know that this is a completely different captivity, right? Because that's the thing with these Yabless Israelites, they like pushing this, oh, the 400 years of captivity is fulfilled. They are taking a prophecy that has already come to pass and putting it and trying to use it to explain away a prophecy that is currently happening, right? So we're currently going through right now, which is the captivity. And the Most High, however, Shamia or Shai, whenever he prophesied against our people about the curses and coming into this captivity, he never gave a timestamp, or it lasts for 400 years or so amount of time. And we already know that this captivity has gone on longer than 4 years. But you see, these jigs out here, they still keep pushing this doctrine. Let's go back to the video. Let's continue hearing what he has to say.
Egypt mean? In the book of Exodus 20 verse 2 it says, I am Yahuwah thy Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Egypt means the house of bondage. And the Most High told the children of Israel when they were in the wilderness after they had gotten out of Egypt, that if they disobey him, he shall take them back again to Egypt, the house of bondage. And this time he shall not take them by foot, last time they walked, but he shall take them to Egypt by ships, meaning they shall be sold as slaves through the ocean. So let us read part of the curses where the Most High will return. He said he will return the children of Israel back to bondage if they do not obey his covenant. The curses of the covenant are in the book of Deuteronomy 28 from verse 15 to 68. Let us read.
Right, so it's basically going into the curses right now. Specifically, Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, where it says that the Most High will carry our people back to Egypt with ships, wherein no man shall. I shall sold for bondwomen and bondmen, and no man shall buy you. In other words, no man shall redeem you. And like I said, it's a different situation from the 400 years of captivity that that the Most High told Abraham of. Okay, this is a completely different captivity from that. The captivity that we have in the curses, like I said, it's never mentioned how long that we would have to spend in that captivity, and anybody that gives you that talks about, oh, it's going to be for so and so a time, it's basically just guesswork. Okay, because the scriptures don't really give you a time of how long this captivity will be. And this 400-year captivity you are trying to use is basically just bringing it, trying to use a prophecy that has already come
68
to
and see
pass.
how Yahuwah said.
It's just you trying to use a prophecy that has already come to pass to try to compare, or basically you try to compare with something that our people are currently going through, and that we already know, right, what it is, which is basically the second captivity which our people are going through. So let me get this precept real quick, okay? Let's sing. Rejoice, O Zion. There should be lamentations, and it's not nothing is here. Okay, here we are. So this is the book of Lamentations 4, and I'll start from verse 22. The punishment of thine captivity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit an iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, right? And I'm just reading that just to show you that we are in our final captivity, okay? And in the final captivity, it was never said that we as a people, the nation of Israel, that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians would serve a 400-year captivity or a 400-year bondage. Really, the 400-year captivity, the 400-year bondage and doctrine is completely going off, and it's mixing up prophetic events, right? Because you can't take a prophetic event that has come to pass and claim that we're still going to have to experience that in these last days, or rather that's what we're currently experiencing in these last days, and that's not the case. And even the scriptures do not follow the And like I was saying, the scriptures don't follow that teaching, right? Because the captivity that we are currently in, like, is going back to the curses. Let's get that, and let's get the main point. Just to make sure that just to make sure that we didn't leave any stone unturned, as it were. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again. All right, because we are already, because we as at this time, we as a people have already gone into captivity. And this Egypt that we're being brought into, is physical Egypt, or a place called Egypt like the last time. Rather, it's a spiritual Egypt, and we'll also get that precept as well. So yeah, Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And Jehovah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right. And the reason why we know it is a spiritual Egypt is because if we go on a little bit up and read the precepts, right? So let's get this real quick. Let's get this real quick. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Right, and the hint that we have for which nation it is where the scriptures say that a nation who is as swift as the eagle flieth. Okay, so basically you have a nation that represents itself as the eagle, which is of course Esau, Edom. Now Deuteronomy 28, verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favour to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee neither corn, or wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. Which is exactly what Esau Edom did to our people, right? Because when he went to the Americas, he burned down the crops of Gad and Reuben and the northern kingdom. He also had a large bison, basically damn near hunted a bison to extinction, just in order to force the Native Americans to surrender, right? To force Gad to surrender. And that's not even going to how far he went against the people, right? Against the Gadites, the Reubenites, and the entire northern kingdom, and how much destruction and death, rape, robbery, and murder that Esau Edom committed just in order to take over these lands the way that you see that is currently being taken over today. And that just shows you that this is, of course, going into Esau Edom, the so called red man, and the wickedness that he has done all over the earth against the Israelites, right? But that, of course, does not mean that the Most High said that all this will happen for 400 years, and then after that, the prophecies are fulfilled. So let's get another quick precept, right? Spiritual Sodom and Egypt, wherein also our Lord was crucified. So let's get that. Okay, so I'm thinking about different precepts. I think that was spiritual. No, let's just go to the book of Revelation 11 and just find it from there. I'm not going to go through all this, just going to get the main points. So this is the book of Revelation 11. And let me see if I want to start from the top. No, let's just get the main point. Revelation 11 verse 8. And their bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Alright. And the spiritual Egypt, of course, is referring to America, Babylon the Great. The same with spiritual Sodom. So like I said, it's a different captivity, right? But you have the nation still bearing the name Egypt in the spirit, because it is coming in that same spirit as Egypt, being a land of captivity for our people, right? So with that, I'm going to end the video right there. Once again, all praises Honor and glory unto the Most High. Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shaiba Shamra Kakwadash. Wa Abad Babalan through the spirits of Yakyam, and you are quite edified. Shalom.